think we're going to look at a 3-1 series.
For me, I'm actually kind of rooting for Method a little bit here. I like their ability just to hold on when things just seem like, all right, things are not going well, we're feeding a little bit too much, this game's probably done. They still find a way to come back and scare you in a team fight.
That's the thing that's impressive, that they always keep up in experience. I think this is probably the best strength that they have right now, because it allows for comeback potential and for a lot at that. So if you dominate the entire game with kills and then you lose one fight at the end towards Method, they are going to punish you, and they're going to punish you hard.
Well, we'll see if any more punishing will be coming as we move to Tomb of the Spider Queen, a battleground that Fnatic has chosen once again. Method seems to be on the first pick train here, trying to take away the important assets that Fnatic are trying to pull off. And I do wonder if now is the time for that Stukov to come out. Another battleground where he can be strong on. His ability to poke and also land roots when someone's going for a turn-in is unmatched by a lot of supports.
It's an interesting map choice as well. I'm going a little bit through the maps, and I'm also looking at the track records that we have. The one reason why the map choice surprised me a bit is because Fnatic has a 60% win ratio here, 3 wins, 2 losses. But then you look at Method, and they are at 83%. They played this 6 times, and they won 5 times.
Wow.
So the first instinct is immediately, what's happening here? Why is Fnatic picking that battleground? The thing is, if you look at the remaining maps, most of them are really strong for Method. And let's take, for example, Dragonshire, where Fnatic is now starting to take people. Method is 5-0 on Dragonshire. It's not really the map that you want to pick here. So the only other map that I could have really seen them go maybe is Sky Temple. Problem is, Fnatic doesn't even have a win yet on Sky Temple. So when I see something like this, it always worries me slightly, because you oftentimes see that a series at the beginning leans towards one team because they're doing exceptionally well on the battlegrounds where they excel at, but all of a sudden, as the battlegrounds become more uncomfortable for them, they're starting to fall off. So we might have a lead for Fnatic, but this series isn't done yet by a long shot.
Something to note, Caldor, there, Sky Temple has actually been taken away by Fnatic for this series, but
True.
Praxis holdout.
Towers of Doom, by the way, is also being taken away, because that was my first go-to for Fnatic, as they are really doing well on towers, and Method isn't, but that's the reason why Method banned it out, because they said just it's not happening.
Tracer banned by Fnatic. They do not want to allow her to be open on this battleground, and while Tracer may have been changed, this and BOE are the picks that you normally saw Tracer when she started to pop up at the early stages. And Garrosh heads over to Method, as Garrosh is up and available, and we're looking for those picks.
Diablo Midi? No. Hanzo at the beginning. I really want to see if they prioritize a higher Diablo, since Method could ban it out. But then Stukov. Stukov is just so impactful for them. So I would probably prefer them to start with Stukov at this point over the frontliner. Just secure Stukov for yourself again. He had such a huge impact. And then you can still design the draft around it. If Diablo is banned, you can go into varying composition. You have ETC still available to you. So Gul'dan can come into play later on. You have so much to do here. So I'm a bit surprised how long they take. I expected Stukov to be locked down faster. At this point, I actually want them to not take him, just because I want to see what's the alternative for them.
I don't know if there is an alternative, though. They have to be talking about the rest of the draft, because I feel like Stukov has to be a shoe-in. No, they've decided to move into Leo. So Hanzo and Leo.
First pick, Leo? Now that's an interesting one. The hero itself doesn't shock me. The priority is what's really surprising right now.
Yeah, you expect him to be the 3-4, maybe, not the 1-2.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Leoric is highly contested at this point and everybody goes for it. And he's strong. He's good against that setup. You throw him, he can move out, so that's fantastic. You can drain Garrosh. You have a good solo lane as well. But the priority on Leoric is surprising to say the least. I expected him, as you said, in the 3-4.
Are we going to go for like an old school Fnatic with like a Hanzo Tassadar maybe? With Lunara as their front line?
I mean, maybe then...
Lunara, Leo as their front line?
I don't think they want to go that far. You mean main tank?
Yeah, yeah.
I doubt that. But it's still one of the setups where I'm looking at it and I'm like, you basically don't want to show anything at this point. You want to make sure that there's
a surprise factor.
Yeah, so... call me intrigued. I'm really curious to see what this is going to be. This is very open. Stukov is now taken away from them. Again, I would have loved for them to take Stukov. Junkrat with wave clear. Could see Mena heading into Gul'dan later on. Maybe Method even banning out Gul'dan, because they're also worried about that. Frontline is something that can also be targeted by Method, so since Diablo is there, ETC is still there. Malthael banned, okay. That makes Diablo more attractive.
Yeah.
Could be banned for that reason.
Well intrigued, as you mentioned. Diablo is up and available.
So typical bans that we could see now, Diablo, Gul'dan, ETC, those three would probably be and Malfurion, I would say. So you have like 4 heroes that you're thinking about that could combo very well with what Fnatic is usually doing here. But Method also has to ask themselves a little bit what's going to happen here.
I'm still thinking about that Tassadar. I really am here for Method. I don't know
But
why
then
I'm
I
so
would've-
built into it.
The thing is, if you want to go for a Tassadar, I would have gone Sonya. That's why I'm not really sold on the Tassadar idea, because I agree with you, Tassadar is still great, and if you want to go into the double support, by all means make it happen. But if you're already thinking about a Tassadar and a double support, you would want to have Sonya on the solo lane, since she can have way more impact with a double support setup. And Diablo doesn't benefit to the same extent from the double support as Sonya does. So that's the one thing that throws me away from the Tassadar a bit.
But I feel like you can throw away Leo a little bit. That's why they would like to have him here. If you get into a spot where things just are not working against that Garrosh, you can say, okay, here, Leo's gone, sacrifice him, and move into that double support, and then back up. But
I mean, against Garrosh, you're absolutely not wrong. Against Garrosh, Tassadar, one of the reasons why Tassadar came back is because Garrosh is so strong, and you want to keep the target alive. And with a double support coming back in, they all of a sudden started to pick more. We saw Vala on Battlefield, we saw it with Hanzo, but then I would have gone into Sonya. They picked the Tassadar. I'm not sure if I like it. Like, it's great for Diablo if he gets thrown. It's great against Garrosh, as we said several times last weekend. We talked about that. But why the super early Leo pick if you wanted to go into a double support from the get-go?
I really think it's just mostly we want to be able to allow Leo to die if we need to. Decent wave clear, in a good spot. Hanzo gets protected by Tassadar. Sonya, if she gets thrown and you lose her, your team fight's completely over. But Leo, it's not over, right? You can reassess it.
Okay, but I mean, here's the thing. If you plan on going into Tassadar anyways, the whole reason, or one of the main reasons, is that you can play around saving a target that gets thrown. So
that's true.
But yeah, maybe it's just really the respect for Garrosh and them trying to drain it. You have also, of course, again, you have the potential Entomb that you can use to set something up with Diablo. I mean, if you think Entomb here and you have Diablo with an Apocalypse, Hanzo with an arrow, you all of a sudden talk about like pretty mean chains that you can execute.
Well, Method, we'll have to look for those chains that will be coming their way. We'll be able to handle them. They have a lot of poke. They have the ability to displace. Tychus comes in to help out with that Diablo, and the Thrall once again in this series. Method on the Thrall train, man. Choo-choo.
Yeah. Thrall has had his first 2 wins today. 1 victory by Method and another victory by Fnatic. So he sat at a 0% win ratio as we were heading into today's matches. But now he is at 2 wins and 6 losses.
0 to hero, just like that. It's like that song from Hercules.
Yeah, I mean...
Disney had it right all along.
Yeah. So if you want to have good compositions, you go to Disney, apparently.
That's right. Is this a Malfurion or is this an Uther?
Personally, I like Malf a lot for the combo potential.
I like Goofer.
I mean, Uther's great against when Garrosh starts to get the flip in.
I like the stuns, I like the saves, and just kidding, it's neither. Instead, we get a bearded monk with a variety of hats, apparently. Karazim coming in.
Okay. Absolutely not what I expected out of Fnatic. Not hating it. Yeah. 7-sided strike with the setup here. Pretty solid. Can get some isolation going. Breeze on Diablo, there's always a win.
Yeah. 10, you have Force Wall available into a Diablo combo. You can blow people up. 13, 16, you let Breeze just go completely off. It's Tomb of Spider Queen. On the right side, again, we're looking at Fnatic, because Fnatic's composition's awkward compared to what we've normally seen in the last couple of weeks. But looking over Method, they have a strong composition as well. They have their ability to bully out their side lane. They have wave clear out the Wahoo. And of course, they have control over the tournament points. And they have Odin on top of it. So they're looking pretty good.
There's also a lot that he can really do with the good Entomb here. Apocalypse, 7-sided strike, Hanzo arrow. Good damage against Garrosh now as well.
Yeah.
With the Auric and 7-sided. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. We're seeing something a bit different. That's awesome. We've seen Karazim plays in the past from Fnatic. Oftentimes it was in Battlefield of Eternity with a double support setup. Now we have it as a solo support. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 4 as we are heading in. Fnatic is in the lead against Method. We have a pretty cool combo on their part. Bad Benny on Leoric. We have Mena on Hanzo. Breeze on Diablo. Quacknix on the Q-bot. He's on Tassadar. And we have Smexy on Karazim.
On the right side in the red, Curson playing Stukov, Arcaner on Garrosh, Nick on Junkrat, Thorough back on Thrall, and Schwimpy will actually be Tychus here. I was expecting Nick to be on the Tychus, and then Shwimpy on the Junkrat. But hey, we got a mix-up.
Yeah. Also, Diablo 2-0 at this point for Fnatic. Breeze, of course, known for his Diablo play. One of the reasons why the hero oftentimes is picked away from them, or why the hero ends up being banned out against them. So he only had the chance in regular league play to play Diablo twice. Both of those games were successful. Also interesting, and I think we have to throw that out real quickly, one hero that hasn't been picked in this draft and hasn't been banned either, Medivh.
Yeah. I was expecting a lot more Medivh, to be honest with you, especially from Quack in particular.
I mean, to be fair, Medivh was banned twice and picked once, so he was involved in every single draft. It's just if you have it as an early ban, then you can't do too much with it. But this is really the first map in the series where Medivh just went completely through and got ignored. And that's on Tomb, which is pretty surprising to me.
Surprising to me is Fnatic and how they're setting up the line. Leo's on the bottom, and then I'm watching this Tassadar. He should be in a position where he's kind of holding down the lanes. Actually, Tassadar brings a decent amount of wave clear, which is really helpful on this battleground, and you'll be seeing him probably just watching those lanes that are uncontested by Method, like here in the top lane. Quack's trying to finish that out there.
The vision game in general from Fnatic is fantastic. You don't only have Tassadar for Oracle, but at the same time, it's of course also that Hanzo that continuously will just provide the vision so that you know exactly what's happening here. So between the two of them, Fnatic should always be in the know of what's going on.
Yeah, it gets even better to level 4 with that Kerosene being able to check bushes with that level 4 talent you can pick up. Smexy, speaking about Kerosene, goes in for a few pushes on Athero. Method comes back to fight, and Bad Biddy will take the front of the damage, but able to survive here. He'll be able to sustain through. Still to know, actually, that level 1 for Leo, you've been talking about the last couple of weeks. We got the Consume Vitality here, which is just helpful for swinging, get that cooldown reduction, and also get that heal popping out there. I picked up the, gosh, what is the name of it? The activatable that gives you the max heal percentage on Leo, the level 1 that the Eastern teams run on. Yes, I've been running that, actually. I see why there's so much appeal for it. Actually, if you're able to body out your lane and control those regen globes and getting that shade off there, you have so much sustain. It's actually really helpful. I've been running Leo against a lot of Diablo compositions this week.
I mean, for late game is also pretty cool because you have the reduction on your trade, so that can be pretty nice. It's just depending on the comps that you go up. I really feel, especially against melee heavy setups or when you are guaranteed to have a couple of good swings, the Consume Vitality on one is just awesome. But, well, wait a second. Benny gets actually thrown in by Junkrat. That was a pretty cool move that he didn't expect, apparently. So he goes down.
No talent saves you there.
Yeah,
regardless of what you pick at level 1.
Exactly. If you're getting thrown into towers and also an entire team that low on health, you just don't survive. That's just the thing.
Well, he's back in time to soak the experience in the bottom lane. He also has a Kerosene looking around in case he has to force a fight. Spexy comes in and delivers a couple of punches on top of Shwimpy. And we're going to have ourselves a little game here as we move towards level 10. That's where I'm assuming we're going to see this Hanzo composition come offline. Most of the time here, you're just trying to build up Breeze a little bit on those stacks. And you're also trying to finish your level 1 quest for the Kerosene, or for the Tassadar.
Yeah, Breeze is definitely going to have to be very, very careful, since this is going to be one of those games where it's just all about lockdown after 13. When we have the viral reaction happening for Stukov and any lockdown happens, then the bigger they are, it's just going to get the full duration through. And that's going to junk Breeze pretty heavily. But that's also where, of course, Tassadar comes in again with his armor on 4. That's going to be important. Teams are now both trying, of course, to get the momentum going by turning in as fast as they can. We have 30 already delivered by Method. Another nice attack against the Thera at the bot lane. And he barely gets out. Close call. Has the cooldown on the fountain still up, so he can at least tap for now. And Kirsten is also topping off health right away. As they're going for Shwimpy again. No, just kidding. Garrosh is actually the target this time. Getting him low, but no kill.
Indomitable, man. Hard to kill and hard to gank. One of the reasons why Garrosh is so powerful in the meta right now. And speaking of powerful, Method able to drop off their gems, and they'll have the first turn in the game. Looking to get that level 7 and spike up in experience so they can get some towers here.
Yeah, Fnatic has, I mean, again, they have a lot of tools, but I feel a lot of their composition really comes online after 10. I think before 10, it's going to be pretty rough for them to actually get these kills unless they get the perfect flank going with Diablo delivering a stun into a wall. Outside of that, it's going to be a bit dicey. Shwimpy is now moving in too, putting the pressure onto Smexy and Benny, and yeah, that pressure is rough. Method is really in a position where they have a very good early game composition, and for Fnatic, as we said before, it can be a bit tricky. So the problem that Fnatic could run into is that Method just walks away with a very early lead that they can snowball into a second and maybe a third turn in.
Even with Fnatic at level 10 being pretty terrifying, I also think Method's terrifying too. I mean, Odin coming online, either of Thrall's options here. I wouldn't mind seeing an Earthquake actually come in there and help with the sustain fight. Junkrat poke, the Riptire can stop the full engage completely. I don't know, both teams, man, so coming out of these team fights here.
Yeah, it's a coordination question afterwards, but for now we still have Fnatic doing what they can to keep the lead of Method to a minimum, but Method, as you can see, is already in holding it at an entire level.
Yeah.
So Fnatic needs to turn. They need to try and get that turn and try and close that gap. Method, and as fast as possible, because if Method gets 10 while Fnatic turns in, it just means easy defense on the side of the red team.
It feels like they might actually need to kill though before they even get that turn in. The poke is pretty darn insane for Method. Grenades, you have Chain Lightning constantly coming out, Garrosh Groundbreaker. Fnatic may just have to wait towards that 10, but being a level behind, it's going to be difficult to do so. It's going to be one of those hold-on games, you know? You just kind of sit on the edge of the cliff, try to hold on as long as you can.
Yeah, right now if you're Fnatic, you really ask yourself, do we actually want to turn in?
Yeah.
Because that's an easy free defense for Method if they turn in now, since Method will hit 10. So if you just wait until you get more experience and then get the turn in, then you might be in a better spot. But yeah, absolutely. So this is an awkward position for Fnatic to be in. You can see they are not making any attempts to actually delivering the full amount of gems. They're just like trying to get experience, trying to get close enough to 10 themselves, and then around 10 they will try and get their own turn in. Method is not quite there yet where they can deliver a second Web Weaver wave and second objective, but they have now their abilities, and ideally they would get a kill, and they're trying that currently against Benny. Arcana, not getting close enough, but it was a close call.
Looking for that Groundbreaker, trying to fight. Gonna have the Night Camp in the middle pushing in, but this buys time for Fnatic to move in towards level 10. Method and Crew just poking a little bit here. Letting Nick stack up that quest there on Junkrat in particular. Earthquake has been chosen by Thrall, so watch for him to bring in those flanks.
And here we have now the setup that Fnatic wants. So now they have their own 10. So they want to make sure that they get their own turn in, if possible, before Method gets theirs. And Fnatic doesn't have their heroic ability just yet. A bit more experience is needed, and that might just be enough for Method to get the turning completed. And it looks very likely that that's going to be the case. Yep, there it is.
There it is. At least Fnatic has a Night Camp in the middle. That'll help clear it out.
Okay.
We can pick that up when the Web Weavers come in.
It's combo time, though. There it is, the setup. Leoric with the Entomb, Hanzo Arrow, Apocalypse, and Seven-Sided. It's a lot of tools to lock a target into place and just rip it apart. So that's what they need to do here. Find a target, go for it, coordinate it well. We also have now the Force Wall taken by Tacita, can even lock the Entomb. And yeah, so I want to see a good call. If we get calls on the same level that we saw in Infernal Shrines, then this is a moment where Fnatic can start to get the kills. But now they first of all need to deal with the objective, with the Web Weaver, since Method is just trying to snowball the advantage.
Quack almost getting picked there. If he landed on the sounds, he would have been dead 150%. But just fine here. Able to back up. Method, with the top lane and bottom lane pushing in, Fnatic's finally like, okay, we cleared out middle. And they're like, no, you haven't cleared out middle yet. They pop Odin here. And they'll look to grab that turret. Thrall actually getting picked up in the bottom lane, and Entomb into looks like a 7-sided strike. He even pops Earthquake to try to survive. But Thero, it's having a bit of a rough day today.
Yeah, that was this is exactly the potential that you have. You have so many tools that can work together, and especially if you work around Entomb, you have so much kill potential. But that's not the only thing. Hanzo Arrow into Apocalypse is also fantastic. It was definitely a good kill, and that shuts the aggression down on Method's side. But then again, you have to also realize that the fort at the top is gone, the one in the middle is nearly destroyed, the one in the bot lane is also taken a couple of hits, so definitely rough. We also have to throw it out again, guys. You probably picked up on it already, but in case you haven't noticed yet, the cooldowns currently in our UI don't work properly for heroic abilities. So yes, Thrall used Sundering, and we saw Entomb and also Seven-Sided being utilized, but the cooldown is not going to show here today. So apologies for that, but just so that you're not confused later on when we head into these fights and some of the abilities are not being used or just show up as still being ready.
Fnatic setting up for the first turn in the game here. They only need 8 more gems. Silence thrown down on top of that turn in to make sure they don't get it off. As Azim is looking to turn in on the bottom lane, but with Thrall sharking around that area, they're going to be able to defend it. 13 also hits for Method, so Fnatic has to back up. And then go back to the hang around and wait for another opportunity type of play style.
Now, let's put this all in perspective again. Fnatic is closing in on level 13 once they have the talent, and they have currently 83 gems. So we're talking about Fnatic, yes, losing a lot on infrastructure, but not really being too far behind in experience just now. And that's pretty big for them, because if they can hold on to the gems, if they don't fall and they get those turn-ins, then Method finds themselves in exactly the same position that they put Fnatic in on Battlefield, where with later objectives you can start to snowball hard, since you haven't lost any infrastructure yet. So Method needs to be careful with this. And here comes another 7-sided, and that is Garrosh. Bye-bye, baby. As we see another Orc biting the dust. Thrall, the first one to fall earlier. Now Garrosh is the number 2, and that's a turn-in, and that's the potential for Fnatic to get a bit of snowball going. Look at the experience right now. It's nearly identical. And on the side of Method, no turrets have fallen yet. Fnatic plays their cards right here. They're going to walk away with the lead. And now they take out Thrall too. I mean, this is getting from bad to worse for Method.
I have never seen a Garrosh die that quickly in my life. That was incredibly quick there. Fnatic able to find the pick. I know 7-sided strike is a good heroic, but my golly, that was insane. And now Fnatic opening up the map here has middle lane completely in a position where they turn down the turrets. Leo's already in the best position possible here for the bottom lane too.
The way to beat Garrosh? Be water, my friend.
Be water, my friend. It's all about the Zen. That's what it is. So you're telling me Zen beats Garrosh, yeah?
Kung Fu beats Garrosh.
Karazim and Chen. Confirmed. That's how you beat the Garrosh.
If you mention Chen on broadcast, he's going to get nerfed again, so please don't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, you 3 Chen mains that are still left out there. You now lose the ability to jump into a fight.
We nearly got rid of all of them. There's only 3 left. Talking about fights, on the other hand, we have one building up here at the top. Bot lane fort has already been destroyed. And haven't we been talking about experience leads? Now we have exactly that. 15.5 for Fnatic, closing on 16, and all of a sudden what looked like potential snowball on the side of Method is turning quickly against them. On the other hand, he has the silence, the taunt, the root, and goodbye, DS Mexi. That's the end of Bruce Lee.
Method has their own way to delete a target, and the Zen has been taken out as Method. Toss them straight into a silence.
Haven't lost too many gems here. That's a good point for them. They haven't lost a couple, but they still hold on to 109. Just kidding, they just turned 44 in. So yeah, Fnatic still with a lot of potential here. They are playing this pretty well. They have the 16 talent. Karazim died. That's definitely a bit of a blowback, but at the same point now we're having the way of 100 fists taken. We see the Fists of Fury in him. Blinding speed as well. So a lot of focus here also on aggression, on damage output. And Fnatic is running with this now.
And they'll have their own night camp to match the one Method here in the middle lane. It looks for the defense. We'll see if Method's able to defend this, but Fnatic definitely going to be looking to open up that first layer of defense and moving for this forts in their second turn in here. Easily cleaning up the night camp. This middle lane is actually a pretty scary push, especially if they're able to find a kill here.
Yeah, that's
stepping up already.
Push with the aura is pretty disgusting if they play their cards right. Leo is currently going through the bot lane. Here's the stun into the wall. Again, the silence comes out. Arrow to the face. Karazim with a 7-sided. And we actually see Arcana trying to go for the Warlord's challenge. A little bit mistimed. Already down goes that Entomb again. Ethereal walking out barely. Top is pushing, bot is pushing, and here in the middle we are still seeing Fnatic on the move, and of course they still get that aura. Super important spell aura, just such an amazing tool for them to use as they're going through the fort.
There's just too many health bars here in the middle. Method couldn't clear it out, and they have to back up, because already in the bottom lane, the Web Weavers are breaking down the keep wall. The top 4, it's definitely gone already. Fnatic going to keep this experience lead as they hit 17.5, and they also have to be wary of another combo. The good thing about a Force Wall into a Diablo charge is that cooldown is actually pretty darn low. So Fnatic at any point can continue to force these fights, especially with that level 16 coming online, Diablo hitting his power spike.
Yeah, and the experience lead is just increasing here for Fnatic. They're currently looking at level 18, which is about to drop. Just from a kill perspective alone, they're sitting at 3 kills against 2. It's nothing crazy. It's not really where you have a ton of kills coming in the game, but the kills they get are super important. And with Tassadar completing his quest, he can of course soften those targets up even more. We have the Double Storm now on level 16. Like, Fnatic has a great amount of tools for this. Leoric with the damage reduction, and here comes another Web Weaver wave. This is just because Fnatic was able to hold onto the gems the entire time. They didn't die, they didn't lose the gems, they were just playing it safe, playing it slow, defending, getting the experience, and now they can try and use that momentum.
Do they get a keep off of this? That is the question. Keep wall's already opened up. They have Giants to back it up.
They should definitely try and do that, and that's why they're focusing their attention onto the bottom lane right now. But even the mid lane is going to heavily pressure the keep itself. So for Fnatic, this should be a keep for sure.
It is. Bottom lane easily getting deleted here. Junkrat stepping up pretty aggressively in the top lane to clear that out. Quack's actually coming in for a bit of a flank here, dropping a side storm, trying to demount anyone that may be mounted up. If anyone were to come down to the wrong direction, he can drop down a force wall, and there goes the keep. 19 hit for Fnatic.
And this is also the most important lane to get that keep, because it's the lane that is farthest away from the boss. So whenever you have a posture play around the boss area, the bottom lane is going to pressure hard, and that's what they're trying to do here. Fountain in the mid lane has also been taken out, the wall has been broken down. They still look at more than a level lead in experience, which means that Fnatic should by all means get that level 20 ability earlier.
Is Fnatic just going to order up a boss here? Feels a little bit odd.
I don't think so. They're going to posture around, maybe try and set up a trap, but I don't think there's any way that they actually make a commitment to the boss in this situation.
Yeah, especially without a scatter arrow build.
Yeah.
Way too hard to burn it down quick enough. Just dropping off their gems. Again, trying to peel away the tension away from Method so those catapults can start to group up. The first one is already on its way. And then we're going to get level 20. And level 20 it's good too for Tassadar when he gets that extra range on that force wall cooldown.
All right, interrupt twice going in. Leo's still at the top here. Vision is granted. They know what's coming, but Leo needs to move out, and he did. Bad Benny, no position anymore. Riding that ugly battle beast again. Moving away. Aethera, on the other hand, gets a little bit chunked. Arcana is looking for a target, sees if he can get something. Gets drained, though. Needs to be careful here, and they can't go for Benny. Aethera is already low, and here comes once again the setup. The Apocalypse is already being used as we're seeing the Entomb on the ground, and that could be the kill. And it is the kill. No, not quite. Arcana is still alive, keeps himself in play here. Fnatic a bit too quick with it. And here's the drain once more. 20 is so close, though, and that means that Method is forced back again.
After using Odin as well, if 20 hits, Fnatic can move over to the boss afterwards with Odin being down. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and just start to look for maybe another kill. They're grouping up with the catapults bottom lane, even grabbing this Night Camp, checking out where exactly Method is at. If they come in to contest at any point, Quack will drop in a force wall. There's one right there, but Breeze just couldn't hit the Shadow Charge.
They can push mid lane now. They have the 20 advantage, they have the spell aura, they have a wave coming in. They have everything they need to poke.
And they're poking. Night Camp's here, force wall again. Look how scared Method is. They're so aware of that force wall. It can come up at any point, and Tomb Sounds comes out. Thorough's able to dodge it. Well played by him.
Yeah, Benny whipping the ult there, needs to be careful. Breeze helps out, pushing them back. Keep is on half HP. It's not going to be enough, they're still poking a bit. Catapults are also moving through the bot lane again. Fnatic could wait for the next minion wave, but they still have a window where they can aim for boss, and they're clearing out the top lane, so that means the vision is denied again. And half the team is already making its way over towards the boss. Benny is getting the last few gems, and that's now the moment where Tassadar is trying to slow them down. Boss is being attacked, and Method needs to really think about this one. Do they want to contest that? And apparently they do.
Do they want to contest? Do they want to turn in? Arrow comes out, misses. Heroic's whipping here for Fnatic. Breeze finds a combo though. Sounds comes out to make it harder for him. He gets taunted down. Diablo. Focus as Schwimpy brings out the minigun.
Yeah, and that's the kill against Diablo, so now the souls are lost, and that was an important kill for Method. Really important one. And Tomb apparently wasn't ready in this situation yet. And I would have waited for, I would have actually liked them to wait a bit longer, because again, we can't see the cooldowns here, but Entomb couldn't have been off by a lot.
Yeah.
There must have been like 5 to 10 seconds at the most. The cooldown is already low as it is. Here it comes, and there's the silence. There's the 7-sided strike. How are these guys still alive? Are you kidding me? That Benny is the one who goes down, but Tychus falls as well. Curse is attempting to keep them alive. Smexy's darting in once, twice. He tries to get the kill. He gets it. Stukov is down, and that's Fnatic with a double kill.
Fnatic with the double kill, and they'll be able to have their Leoric back pretty soon too as well. And they turn their eyes towards a boss. With the boss, they should be able to push in this top lane, have that catapult pushing in the bottom, and at least threaten the idea of ending the game. But can they completely finish it here? That'd be a 19-minute boss. Ooh, looks like they're actually sharking down here to maybe look for a fight. Leo has scattered out the rest of Method. He slowed them down just enough.
Vision.
Can Fnatic find a kill?
Vision, Method has no clue. Method has no idea. Method is looking at this like, what are you boys doing down here? So all of a sudden they go in, and Tomb should be ready again. Quacknix is there, they're trying to go for Arcana. At the same time, Thrall is on the run.
Thrall's in his back.
Leoric is not back yet for the Entomb. There's the kill, and there's the double kill. Both of the orcs are down. Garrus down, didn't even have to use the Entomb after Leoric came back.
Is this game here? Ding! Junkrat sound effects.
We just got 3.
Is Fnatic going to go in this here? They're still thinking about it. To be fair, when it comes to their actual core damage, it's kind of low.
The problem is the Fnatic can't just like screw around the entire time.
Yeah.
Getting kills, yeah, like clap. You gotten a few kills. What do you do with it? So they go for a boss now, and they can get an easy boss in a 5 versus 3 situation. And they don't have the gems yet to get another turn in. But they really need to make sure that they get something out of these spots, because don't get me wrong, picking up these kills is great. But the problem is you don't win the game by killing heroes, you kill structures. You take the core down or you take the keeps down. And the keep in the mid lane is still at half HP. Now with this boss 20 minutes into the game, they need to get something tangible out of it. Drop a keep. Try and drop the mid keep maybe. And then also think about a turn in. Because they start to have the gem count that would allow them to get another wave.
They did take away a lot of gems from Method as well, because Method did have their own turn in after the last couple kills.
That's a really good point. That's definitely true.
So that's a big positive from getting those kills. Schwippy's going to pop the Odin, and they're going to do their best to clear out this boss. The boss is getting decently chunked down here. It goes straight into an Earthquake, and here is that combo. Somehow Brawl is able to bolt away, though, and survive. Turns around, drops the Chain Lightning. Diablo gets tossed across the wall, and Diablo actually falls. Method with the unconventional way, turns around, defends the boss. And can they save this keep, though?
They shouldn't be able to. Quacknix is thinking about dropping
Big red button.
Quacknix wants to go.
They did it.
Oh my god.
They did it.
Quacknix was actually like just sitting around the entire time thinking about if he needs to drop a storm or two there, and decided against it. He didn't want to die. He didn't want to go in too deep and then fall. But now the map again, Method. Method has done insane comebacks on this map happen against Zealots. And right now, they still have 2 keeps on the map. And they have they will have the turn in soon. They're close.
There's no way they can do it twice in 2 weeks. Come back from this far away?
If Fnatic doesn't confirm these keeps, they can definitely make that work.
Method having all 5 up. In 10 seconds, Diablo will be back. Diablo currently sitting at only 63 souls. Won't be able to have the full regen available, and Method is farming out their gems, looking to be able to have that turn in. They have a middle lane pushing in. Fnatic doing their best to slow down the turn in that is starting to occur. But Arcane stepping in that front line will buy his team a little bit of time here.
I mean, Fnatic can defend against
there
this.
it is.
They still have 2 forts. We are already on 20, so Method is going to pick up some extra experience, but it's not like they're going to get a talent advantage out of this. That ship has sailed a long time ago. But they're going to get some... They're going to get some...
You're going to open the map a little bit,
on the
right?
map, exactly. They push the lanes out, so they're going to get a little bit more wiggle room, and they're not going to be under as much pressure anymore, and that opens up future plays for them. But for Fnatic, it must really be annoying that not only the mid keep is so low, the top keep is just about to die, and nobody really confirmed that. They thought the boss alone will do that already, but now they have to play a little bit more defensive, because Method wants the top keep. Yep. And if they can get the top keep, then in keeps they're going to be even. And it would also take the pressure away from that top keep of Method, which is just holding on barely.
And here we go. Wall's getting focused down. Odin will be popped here. They are going to siege down this keep. That is their plan. Can Fnatic hold here? But they also have to make sure they don't lose any members, or Method will move in and take out this core.
Leo isn't here yet. And that keep is likely to fall. If Leo doesn't join that fun soon, then that is a goner. And yeah, more and more likely that the keep is going to fall and that it's actually tied.
There we go. One red button comes in. Boom. The Newt takes out the keep. Here comes an arrow. Fnatic's going to force a fight here. And Tomb on the back right hits a thorough.
They're going for Arcana right now. Arcana and Ethereal, they are both so low right now. Breeze is again in, needs to bolt out, and he does. Needs to be careful. They are actually trying to go for him, and they are likely to get him, as Breeze is throwing everyone around. Quacknix with one shield after another, but he falls. Diablo is down. And again for the entire duration. And all of a sudden, Method is walking in and working on keep number 2.
And with keep number 2, taking that pressure, Arcaner goes in for a Groundbreaker, trying to find someone to throw. Not able to get it, but overkill. Being enough damage here, working on taking this keep out. Goes down to half health while Junkrat continues to poke. Bad Benny in a bit of a threatening position. Arcaner steps up to make sure that he doesn't do too much. When Entomb will be up soon, though. So Fnatic does have the possibility here to maybe try to blow somebody up, but they still have to be careful.
Fnatic is going to fall behind here, unless they get the kill.
Entomb.
Yes, the Entomb is great. The Entomb is great, and they get the kill. Thrall is down. That's big. That's really big. Can they get more? That's the question. Can they maybe get Arcana here? Already Force Wall being used. Can they get the damage in for another kill, another force wall? The 20 helping out so much right now on Quacknix. He's trying to get one after another. They're going for Shrimpy. Shrimpy falling, getting low. Arena with the arrow. They go for Arcana. Odin being popped again. Benny is also there. Gets the drain against Arcana. And that is Garrosh. That is the kill that they needed. And Diablo is going to be back in just a bit, and Fnatic is on the chase right now.
And Specs is going in, delivering a couple of punches. At the same time, we do have Hondo getting poked off as Mane stepped up a little bit too far. Riptire chasing across the map. Can they find the Tassadar? Quacknix puts down the force wall. He jumps right over it. The Tire is giving chase. And we're going to have the duration on the shield. But Expire, boom, there's the damage. Quack is able to survive. Thank you for that level 4 talent.
Fnatic has a turn in. They just have the turn in. They have the turn in available. But now they really need to make something happen here. So they have vision, bot lane is pressuring. They are lacking 2 players though. This is really a back and forth right now. And it's actually insane that Method is again in that position where they can potentially win this game. Because this is what happens if you do not take structures down. Fnatic is in a spot where they can turn in. Method doesn't have that. There's a play on the boss that you can potentially make, or it's about the turn in. And again, nice setup here. That could be the kill against Ethereal, but he gets out barely.
The Entomb though? Big swing too. Smexy delivering the punches here, looking to get a thorough. There it is. They finally get the kill. Breeze goes in for another combo. He lands at the Hellgate. Very helpful as Junkrat also falls.
What a game again.
Arrow.
The arrow to the face. Tigers eats the entire thing. Mena just casually throws out the cross-map arrow and gets it off. Now they are back to business. This has to be the play. This has to be game right here. Fnatic, 26 minutes in, 5 versus 3. They're going for it. 2 heroes down, and that also includes Thrall and Junkrat. Right now, that's the best play they can make. That bit skirmish that we had. And can I just say how Smexy is absolutely bodying nerds today?
He is actually destroying on the Kerosene, delivering a couple of the kills. But also, Breeze set that up there with the combos after the Tassadar force walls. Right now, Fnatic is just a well-oiled machine, and they're intending to take this machine, and they get another kill. They want to take the machine, go straight to the core, and delete Method here and take the series, and they look to be doing so. Another force wall out, Shrimpy against the wall. Odin hoping to get back to base to even try to survive. Another force wall once again. He gets there safely, but the core, not so lucky. It falls, and Fnatic goes up in the series 3-1.
Fantastic ending for Fnatic. They really struggled in the mid-game a bit as Method was ramping things up and able to hold on to the infrastructure. But great play. And Smexy again, 32,000 damage there towards the end. Like, he out-DPS'd Leoric, and he nearly out-DPS'd Diablo as well. Like, he really got a lot of these kills and really worked well together with them. Breeze also towards the end. I mean, the entire setup. Force wall stun, flip over, second stun, getting the 7-sided in. Then Entomb comes into play. Again, the Apocalypse. Ethereal trying to dart away here with his bolt. Didn't quite work out. And then just always Breeze every single time with one wall stun after another. And I mean, everything was designed to put him into that spot. You have the prison walls, the Entomb walls that you can use, force walls. I mean, it was actually really well done on their part. But still a bit shaky to not confirm these kills against the Keeps. That win could have been easier.
The more impressive part to me is that Fnatic in that early game just completely held on to level 10. They made sure, okay, this is where we turn online in terms of a composition. Instead of letting themselves fall victim to 2 turn-ins that came their way, they just held on, got a kill or 2 here. The Leoric Entomb into the Smexy 7-sided strike on the bottom lane, bought them a little bit of time, but you can tell they had their composition completely figured out and where at power spiked. I did get a little bit nervous towards that late game, as you mentioned. They just didn't quite go for those forts or even a boss call. Seemed to meander a little bit, but they made it work.
Flashbacks to the Zealots.
Yeah.
Every time when they went in, I thought, okay, that could actually be the comeback.
Well, speaking about flashbacks, we actually have Quack here. Quack, did you happen to have any flashbacks in the Zealots game during that series, or did you know that from the entire start of the game you had it on lock?
I mean, it's not like I'm in the game thinking, oh shit, this is a flashback of that game. No, you know, we're just focusing on the objective and like making sure we don't like greed when everything, like when it started falling apart a bit, like it's so hard for them to siege in and make a real comeback. So we just have to keep calm and just wait for the next objective, which was for us like either bossing or just getting the next pace. So we just kept calm and we kept looking for the right, like the same things, the right things, even though like a couple of times it backfired because they got like a good boop and we didn't actually get the kill on somebody, and then like Diablo died in return. But it was a really good game overall.
Well, I want to say that you seem to be in high spirits today, man. You just shoved a lot of words at me. I mean, are you excited about the match? Are you feeling good about your team right now? Like, where is this excitement coming from?
I mean, one, I've been drinking a full can of Monster.
The sellout
And then
at the end, my friend.
Okay, sorry. No, but like obviously, like winning this series like means a lot to us because it's this series and the sellout series that means the most at this point. Like if we win both of them, we're pretty much set for top 2 in EU, which means we auto qualify. So yeah, we're really happy about this win. I mean, just gotta make sure we prep tomorrow and do the same thing on Sunday.
Awesome. Super happy for you, man. Over to Caldor.
So, again, last game was pretty awesome. You guys made it exciting towards the end. I have a bit of a question during the draft. Why the high priority on Leoric? Because we were actually like thinking a lot, okay, is Fnatic going into a double support setup here? Are they going to draft a Tacita? And with the Tacita, we were thinking a lot along the lines of Sonya. So Leoric, as such an early pick, surprised us a bit. If Leoric, we expected him to be a bit later in the draft. What was the reasoning for that? Did you just feel that he's the counter or for the setup against Garrosh, or what was the reasoning behind the priority on the hero pick?
Not necessarily. It was more about us wanting to hide our comp. Like we didn't want to pick, because since we wanted Monk over like Stukov or something that we would normally pick in that rotation, we just needed to pick the Benny pick in that rotation, and then it was like Sonya or Leoric. But it has been working out like the best, or that's our go-to pick in the draft with the Leoric. So yeah, I mean, I just asked him like, is it fine to pick it already here because I want to pick your pick, or if you want Sonya, we can go for Sonya. But then we talked about a bit about it, and yeah, since it's better for the full comp, and he said it's fine to just pick it there, we just went for it.
Okay, so you decided between Sonya and Leoric, so it was at least a concern. You said you wanted to hide a bit what you were trying to go for, and you wanted to hide the Karazim. Karazim as a counter in particular against Garrosh, or why did you guys say, okay, we want to have Karazim on the map? Because Stukov has been working out insanely well for you guys. Smexy is absolutely on fire on the hero, and you seem to synergize extremely well around the silence and getting your kills there.
So with the Karazim, it's like it's about because early game all we want to do is like wave clear and try to make sure they don't get paid. But obviously like they had the stronger early game because we're scaling, so they got it eventually. But like the Monk is really free to roam around and do whatever while we just wave clear. And then with all the vision we have, like we have potential to, you know, sneak stuff. Like we tried a lot of times on Thrall bot lane and so on. But the biggest issue, like reason for the Monk is the 7-sided, like wall Diablo stun into 7-sided one shot every time. But here, I mean, it's Garrosh, and like, was a lot of times like we were so close in getting the one shot, or like he could pre-cleanse it and toss, you know, like it's well played of him. I mean, but yeah, like that's the biggest reason behind it. Like wall into Diablo stun, 7-sided one shot tank, or anyone.
I mean, already thanks for the insights, but I have one more question. You just talked a bit about the Garrosh and the self cleanse and how that was well played by him. How do you feel about Arcana being in that role? He said that he feels a little bit uncomfortable on the tank role, but for us, it's just amazing to see how he is just there for his team. Whatever role they want him in, he's there. And do you feel there are weaknesses to exploit with him being new to that tank role, or do you feel that at this point he seamlessly fits into that role? Because we were so far pretty impressed by how well he delivers, even though it's not the natural role that he usually plays.
Yeah, I don't see like any like disadvantage with him being there. Like from what I've seen, just like looking at his play in general, I think he's performing really good, especially with the little amount of time he has had since the change. Like the only thing I could see is, you know, if his hero pool is not quite there yet. But like just by looking at his tank play, I think he's doing really good overall.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
Well, as you mentioned, you have 2 big matches this weekend. The first is already out of the way. Second one, Zealots, is coming towards you on Sunday. Any early thoughts about that matchup?
I think it's gonna be kind of like today. Like both teams are really close, I would say. Like it can be anybody's series. It depends a lot on the drafts and whoever like has a better day, basically. So we'll just have to see. But if we do our prep, I think we got it. But then once again, they got to see what we played today, so it's easier for them to prep for us, like kinda. But we have more stuff to come, and we didn't have to show everything today, so I'll just work on the other stuff and try bring it Sunday.
Awesome. I look forward to more compositions from Quack and the Quack Stash. Shoutouts for you, man. It's available. Have you like shaved it all, or is that all like all week?
Of course.
No, dude, that's what yours was
like,
last week.
No, you don't understand. Honest. This is not shaving. He just didn't wash his face today.
What? Okay, so shout out to my team. It was a really fun series. Like we played really good today overall, so I'm really happy about that. And shout out to you guys. You guys look. Wait, what? That's not okay. You guys have changed in some way. I don't know what is. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Twitch chat. Yeah, sure. Yeah, shout out to Twitch chat.
Why not?
Shout out to our sponsors, and yeah, have a continuous great evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Quack. Huge congratulations to Fnatic as they get a victory over Method today. They'll be playing again on Sunday, and again, big matches this weekend for them. Again, they're trying to get to that MSB, and then moving up continuously is always good for them. Quack, as always, great to have on camera.
Yeah, and also like he's changing his timings.
Yeah.
The sellout timing is a little bit like for
That threw me off.
Yeah, exactly. It was actually really well done by him.
That was pretty insanely well done by him. So Quack and crew able to get a big victory, and I'm looking forward to their matches on Sunday. He did mention some new compositions coming out, which is pretty exciting to say. Maybe we finally get that Murky we talked about last week.
Yeah, exactly. The secret Mercury strategy. But why do we spoil that?
I don't know, man. I would love to see it come out at some point. It'd be a pretty awesome pull-off. Now, we're gearing up for our second series of the day, which will be coming at you. It looks like we're going to be having Diamond Skin and Dignitas facing off.
I think before we go into that, we also have something else happening here. So let me just double check. I think someone has a birthday today, and we have a little bit of special prepared for you. So it's like, of course, HGC themed. I'm not quite sure if that really shows on camera. We can like try and go for that.
Lava Wave is the best. That's amazing. No, don't lose the E. Oh my God, E-Bill's good, but Jesus, don't lose it.
Happy birthday to the
thank you so
Carabao.
much, dude.
And yeah.
That is so kind of you. What is it? What's the flavor? Do you even know? Did you make David do all this?
Huh?
Did you make David do all this? It's vanilla
it's
flavored.
vanilla.
Vanilla flavored from the Vanilla Care Bear. Thank you so much, Caldor. Thank you so much, guys.
That's a lot of production. That's not only mine, but like the lava waves. Oh, sorry, is the best. My bad.
We'll have to eat those
But
later.
yeah.
We're gonna go off camera and devour these. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully, we'll get more Lava Wave later. Dignitas versus Diamond Skin coming up next.
Have been chosen does not show, so keep that in mind as we are continuing.